Fuck yeah. How you guys doing, guys? Justin Bieber's grandfather here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my hair. It's just the way it came out. Look, I've been super busy blowing some dude in fucking Pasadena. So I didn't have time to really prepare. But here I am. Anyway, I want to talk about this. Big deal. Big fucking deal, Jonathan Pryce. You know why it's a big deal? For so many different reasons, it's a big deal. For one, this is actual murder by cop. Real murder by cop. Real. No provocation, no reason. No reason this man should be dead. This man is my son. I've worked so hard. I've worked so hard raising my son to be a great person. He truly is a great person. I'm not. I'm a good human. I'm a good person. I'm a good person and I'm good. I'm honest. I'm a good human. But I'm also violent and I'm slightly dangerous. My son isn't. My son's a really good person, as is Jonathan Pryce. I look at Jonathan Pryce as my son. I honestly do. He could be my son, but I honestly look at him as my son. I look at him as my son because if I raised Jonathan Pryce, he would turn out exactly the way Jonathan Pryce turned out, and he'd still be shot. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't have been better. He was a great person. Like, he was a good person. Not great. I mean, but he was a good person. He did good things. He did nothing wrong. He was literally breaking up a fight between a man and a woman. He was doing what a gallant gentleman would do, a man with honor would do. Not what belongs in America, but what a man with honor would do. And he did that. And the sadness is he's dead. He was shot. You're not hearing it all over mainstream media. And this is the thing. And if Trump people want to get on board, they really should. Because this is a situation of murder. And I feel like a huge amount of the Trump supporters would back this young man in that they would see it as murder. I think the mainstream media won't show this because we would all agree it's murder and it wouldn't separate us and divide us. It would actually bring us together. It would actually bring us together as a nation because every Asian, Indian, Taiwanese, African, white, European, Eastern European, Middle Eastern would look at this and go, holy fuck, that's murder. And it would bring us together because we would realize, oh, we do agree that when a good person is killed wrongfully, it's wrong. I felt like the majority of us agreed that what happened to Trayvon Martin was murder. I believe that the majority of us would see Jonathan Pryce as murder. Not all of us agree about Floyd or Breonna Taylor. Now, again, Breonna Taylor was innocent and should not have been killed. But not a lot of us agree that the cops murdered her. We believe it was a horrible accident. And the person that should be held responsible is the person who had misinformation. Now, that said, this is a particular case where this Jonathan Pryce was murdered by the police officer. I don't know if he intentionally murdered him or he freaked out. There's lots of things that could have happened. There's lots of reasons this could have gone down this way. The fact is he's dead. And the cop who did it shouldn't have killed him. He was unarmed. He was posing no threat whatsoever. He was literally being a good Samaritan. So it's a mutual match with Chargin. So we'll find out who she is. She'll be a fake profile, but that's not the point. It's plenty of fish. I'm on there. I'm trying to get dates. I'm trying to get laid. Sick of blowing dudes in Pasadena. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the point I'm making is this. A very good human being was murdered. It happened to be by a police officer. The circumstance is irrelevant because we understand that he did nothing wrong. Could it have been a mistake and an accident and a freak out? Yeah, it's still murder. And I think we all agree. So the media doesn't show it. They don't play it because it won't divide us. We'll all come together and realize that when a real murder happens, when a good person is killed by the police or by anyone, we're all mad, regardless of their race, their gender, their sexual preference. When a good person, when a good human being, someone who's true, someone where you don't have to go back and erase their social media pictures, someone where you don't have to fog out the pictures because there's so many gang tattoos on them, someone where you don't have to create a different thing to it because why? Oh shit, hold on 1 second. Sorry people, give me a quick damn son of bitches, hold on, give me a quick. Gotta plug this in. We're in battery saver mode, and I can't be in battery saver mode. Are we back? Okay, we're back. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is we'll all come together. But as I'm saying, yeah, we couldn't all come together on Floyd because we watched the video. A lot of us watched the whole video, and we realized that the cops weren't out to get him. We can't come together on the Brianna thing because we realized the cops didn't have any more information than Brianna or her boyfriend had. They were screwed over too. So we can't come together on that, man. We can't come together on that because logic is going to keep us from agreeing with your emotion. In this case, we can all come together and go, this young man who could be my son, could be me, but could be my son, should not be dead. And he was murdered. Whether it was by mistake, meaning an overreaction or whatever, it doesn't matter. All murderers are overreaction, right? All murder, if someone could take it back after being found guilty of murder, they would. So, yeah, it probably, I'm sure, I don't know that the cop wanted to kill him by any means. Something happened, something went wrong. It doesn't matter. It was still murder. It was still murder. It was a horrible choice, murder. But we can all agree on that. And so the mainstream media is barely talking about it. And that's a problem. Few of you are going to share this. Facebook is going to make sure it doesn't get out. Sorry. Twitter and my other one, I think it's Instagram, is also going to make sure it doesn't get out because they don't want this out there. They don't want us coming together and going, yeah, we all agree this man was murdered. None of us care that he's black. None of us care about anything else. We care that this man was murdered and this man was a good human being. He wasn't doing any wrong at any point. He wasn't on any drugs. And that's what I'm saying. They don't have to find a picture and fog it out because they want to hide his gang signs. He didn't have any. That's the point I'm making. Trayvon Martin did nothing wrong. He was just a normal kid. He was my son. This man is my son. And the mainstream media won't tell you about it because they don't want you to realize that when you are fucking with my son, we're all mad. Because this is all of our sons that are doing a good job. This dude's parent, whatever it be, grandma, grandpa, whatever, whomever raised this young man did a great job. They raised a good young man. I've looked at everything about him. There are no pictures being cut out. There's no time lapse. There's no nothing. All of the pictures of him are positive. There's no police record. There's no anything. He's just a good person. So the mainstream media will not let us come together and go, this is wrong, because they don't want us to realize, to look left and right and realize that we are all standing up and going, this is wrong. Every gangster, every redneck, every cholo, everyone everywhere, every factory worker, every billionaire, everyone is looking at this and they're going, that's wrong. He was murdered. The mainstream media will not tell you about this because they don't want you to realize that when you take away a good person, we all get mad. When you take away a person who's done nothing wrong, when you kill a person and the murder is your bullet. Not the media said you killed the person and it turned out they died from something completely different. No. This man died from being shot by a cop. Not all cops are bad by any means. This cop made a horrible choice, or he made a horrible mistake. This young man is dead because of it. That cop is being charged with murder that quick in Texas, I believe it is. That quick being charged with murder, as he should be. It wasn't an overreaction like all the other ones, like in the Floyd case and Breonna case. It wasn't a jump to try and appease idiot rioters or protesters. This man's murderer is being charged with murder because it's very obvious that he made a horrible mistake, horrible choice, let's say. Horrible choice. And that's what murder is, a horrible choice. If, again, everybody who's being sentenced for murder, if they could go back, they would make a better choice, as I believe he would too. That's not the choice presented to us, though. This man's life is gone. So the murder charge happened that quick, as it should. It wasn't overreaction. There was video and everything. There was witnesses. It wasn't overreaction. It wasn't to appease anyone. It was people acting like they should, as a lot of times they do. So maybe in the Breonna case or the Floyd case or certain cases like that, or the guy who got shot in LA, there was a knife. He was on drugs. It was a warrant. There were reasons. There were things. There were other circumstances. In this case, in Trayvon Martin, there was nothing. The police specifically told Zimmershit to stand down. They told Zimmerman to not approach him. He chose to approach him and then killed him. That's murder. He murdered Trayvon Martin. He's alive. Just so you know, if you don't think there's an agenda, realize George Zimmerman is alive. They're calling for cops who followed orders. We're not talking about this case. This was murder. In Breonna Taylor, cops who followed orders. Everyone's screaming they want them dead. But you cunts sit around while George Zimmerman lives. You don't think there's an agenda? If there wasn't an agenda, George Zimmerman would be target number one. True or not. But it's not really black people doing any of this. If Bloods, Crips, if black people from LA, from Chicago, from Detroit, from Florida, from Wisconsin, from Minnesota, on and on. Sorry. If they were behind all the anger and the protests, Zimmerman would be dead. Again, this guy's killer is being arrested, or has been arrested, is being charged with murder. Everything that should happen is happening. Eric Garner, that's also another case of murder by cop. Do you see? But that's been blown off. We don't hear much about him. But you want to keep talking about Breonna Taylor and pretending she was an EMT and everything else because there's an agenda. This, though, you won't tell us about this. You won't talk about this. You brush over, so-and-so, he's been arrested. You brush over it because you realize it would just show the world, it would just show the nation that we're only divided by ignorance, not by race. That so many of us agree and get along. Okay, now I'm going to move on to something that's going to piss everyone off, but you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to tell you this. I've literally said a million times that Michelle Obama is the mother of those children. Michelle Obama is a woman. I've always been attracted to Michelle Obama. I'm going to say this 100%. I've always been attracted to Michelle Obama. I now 100% believe Michelle Obama is transgender. I believe she is the sperm donor of those children, and Obama is not the father. She is. I believe Michelle Obama is the father of those children. I'm going to tell you why, though. Excuse me. I've told you before, you got to spit, you fucking spit. You got to fart, you fart. You got to shit, you shit. People who hold it in die. Know that. Now, I'm going to tell you why I believe Michelle Obama is the father of those children and not the mother. There is somebody in this who was in this world that I respected more than most people alive. There are two women I think are great, other than my own daughters. There are two women I think are great in this world. And that was Joan Rivers and Mitzi Shore. Mitzi Shore and Joan Rivers were two of the greatest women I've ever known and the most influential in my life. Joan Rivers says this.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
Okay, here's the thing. For those of you that aren't Jewish, let me explain something to you about old Jewish women. They have a disease called the truth. When they hit late 60s, they can only tell the truth. They can't do anything but tell the truth. Only because for so many years they've been telling their husbands their penises were good, the sex was good, everything's fine. They've lied forever. At a certain age, they snap and they can only tell the truth. Well, Joan Rivers had a very wicked, wild life. She is an idol of mine. By the way, Melissa Rivers, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you because I never thought of this. I never realized. I was so sad when Joan Rivers died. I was so sad when Joan Rivers died. I thought of nothing else but holy shit. It was like, had I been as awake to Lenny Bruce as I became when he died, I would have felt that way. How my mom felt when Elvis died, I felt when Joan Rivers died. Joan Rivers to me made me laugh and made me get through so many hard points in my life listening to her cassette tapes. I laughed and I laughed and I laughed over and over at the same jokes. And she inspired me. And she told the truth and she called everybody out. And she was a god. Joan Rivers was a god of comedy. And she said, Michelle Obama is a tranny. Joan Rivers would know. 100% Joan Rivers would know. She said, my ex-wife, who's Haitian, African, Black, consistently said Obama was gay. She said he's 100% gay. He's gay, gay, gay. She's always said he was gay. I felt he was gay. Joan Rivers said he was gay. Watch this again.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
That's called old Jew. That's old Jew truth. Adam Fernberg knows what I'm talking about. It's called old Jew truth. And they can't lie. They just tell the truth. My great grandma, Molly Strasberg, just told the truth all the time. All the time. She just spoke what she felt. Because she was an old Jew. And Jews had to keep their mouths shut for so long that when they get old, nothing shuts us up. That's why old Jews talk all the time. Because during the Holocaust, they couldn't say a word. During coming to America, you couldn't say a word. You always had to shut up. You always had to stay low key, under the radar, act white. And then they get old and they're like, fuck it, I'm going to die. Fuck it. Living the life. And so Joan Rivers told the truth. And she said, Michelle Obama is transgender and Barack Obama's gay. I always knew Barack Obama was gay, but I always thought Michelle Obama was a woman because those kids are hers. But then I realized, why couldn't she just be the sperm donor? And if Joan Rivers says it, she fucking says it. Now, here's the thing. So shortly after, this happens.
There are startling new details emerging from the federal investigation into the death of Joan Rivers. The findings have angered her daughter, Melissa.
Yeah, Chris Raggi has the latest from outside the clinic where a new report says terrible mistakes were made. It's this simple. Joan Rivers did not have to die.
Well, there's always the risk. Whenever you go under, you've got to say, maybe this won't work, or maybe I won't even come out of it. I mean, it is a major life choice.
This just released 22-page report includes some disturbing claims about what was supposed to be just a routine throat procedure for the comic legend back in August. Among the mistakes, investigators report the clinic failed to get Joan's informed consent for each procedure performed and failed to identify deteriorating vital signs. And this is the part that is just astounding. The report says that while Joan was sedated, a staff member, quote, took pictures of the surgeon and the patient with his cell phone.
Now, another part of this report that everyone is talking about is that the comedian was put under with the anesthetic propofol. And when you talk about propofol, you immediately think of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's the drug that he overdosed on, and his doctor.
So, if you follow me, and I'm leaving Jonathan here because you need to you want to say somebody's name? Him. You want to say a name? Trayvon Martin. You want to say a name? The autistic kid who was shot. You want to say a name? The woman who was shot because her dog went after the cops. Say their names. Say Jonathan Price's name. Say these people's names because they don't have a record. And yeah, you know what? I have a record. And if I get shot because I get in some violent fight, well, you know what? I have a record that shows I get fucking violent. But Jonathan Price doesn't. He's a way better person than I am. He should be alive today. He is a good human being, and he should be alive today. Anyway, so Joan Rivers died in surgery, a very minor surgery, a very ordinary surgery, shortly after stating that Obama was gay, Barack, and Michelle was a tranny. Then she dies. But see, the thing is, everyone knows that Rivers doesn't lie. Joan Rivers was a fucking comedy god. And she doesn't lie. And she didn't lie. And right then, when I saw this, and I never saw these tapes. I never saw Joan Rivers call Obama gay or Michelle a tranny. And then she dies. And then there's so many questions about the death. I just knew Joan Rivers died and I was crushed. That's all I knew. And the news back then wasn't viral and it wasn't on the internet. She just died. It was kind of weird. So think about that for a minute. She calls out Michelle for being a tranny, Obama for being gay, or Barack for being gay. And then she dies in a minor surgery that she should never have died in. Maybe wake up to it a little, or don't, it's so up to you. I can't tell you what to do. So I want to show you guys this because this is the result.
A police officer arrested and charged with murder. Our Chris Sadeghi is in Hunt County, about an hour northeast of Dallas. Chris, what's going on there now?
Sonia, the big update happened late last night. It was just a couple days after Jonathan Price was shot and killed in Wolf City. The police officer, Sean Lucas, is now charged with murder. He was booked here at the Hunt County Jail before being transferred to a different county. Everything with this story really happened on Saturday night when family members tell us Jonathan Price was trying to stop a domestic violence incident outside a gas station, and they said it was resolved before officers even arrived. But sometime during that situation, Price was shot. Texas Rangers did their investigation, and they said Lucas was trying to detain Price, who did resist in what they call a non-threatening posture and started to walk away. The officer then used his taser before firing his gun. That's according to the statement released by the Rangers. They added that the actions of the officer were not objectionably reasonable. Dallas attorney Lee Merritt is helping represent Price's family and said they're grateful for the arrest, but this is just step one.
The family was cautiously relieved. They thought this officer should be in jail tonight, but they're more concerned that this officer spends the rest of his life in jail. We are grateful for this first step, but it is just a first step. And we want to see this all the way through a conviction.
Price was a city employee in Wolf City, a town of just 1,500 people, so he was known in that town. We talked to his family as well. There was a vigil yesterday. We will hear from them coming up in about 30 minutes. Mark, back to you.
See, and this is the thing. His mom, dad, everyone's all there. And none of them are like, yeah, I just got back because after 50 years of not talking to my kid, of never knowing my son, of never being around him, of never being around my daughter, here I am to talk to the news. No, his mom, dad, and cousins and everybody truly knew him. They were all tight. He had an amazing mother and father who did an amazing job with him. He wasn't a city employee. He worked for the city, but he did so much more. He gave his time. He helped children. He helped adults. He was a good person in the area. And that needs to be known. And it is. But see what I'm saying is even the family's like, yeah, no, they jumped right on it. I don't think they did it because of what's going on. I don't think they did it out of fear. I think they did it because, holy shit, this was wrong. And it's a small town where he's the liked guy and the white sheriff is an outsider who moved in there. Even people are saying like, no, this dude isn't from here. The sheriff, the Sean guy, isn't from here, the people say. He just started working here. They want to distance themselves big time from him. So what I'm saying is you got a town of a bunch of fucking white and black and Latin people, and everybody's getting that this dude was murdered. This dude was a good guy. But the mainstream media will not share these stories because it doesn't cause division. It's not leading to their civil war they want. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm not, share the fucking video. Wake people up. Guys, this is a good man. He was murdered. It's sad. The cop who murdered him, his life is over. That's kind of sad because he probably fucked up so bad. He probably panicked beyond belief. Or he's the worst person in the world. He could be the meanest, most awful human in the world to just shoot somebody because they're black. He could be that person. I'm not saying he's not. Chances are he totally fucked up. His life's over. His fuck up, whether it be a total accident or whatever, is murder. We all know that, and everyone agrees. Therefore, you won't hear it in the media because it doesn't cause the division they want. Last thing I want to talk about, people on the right. Maybe you want to stop pushing your pro-life shit. Let me tell you why. Imagine if you win. Imagine if you get your way and abortion becomes illegal. Granted, there's Republicans and religious fanatics whose kids and themselves have abortions. But the mass amount of abortions are happening on the left or the lower income too. If you ban abortion, all these people will have children. Those children will grow up and a lot of them will vote. But enough of them will be born that they will outnumber your ability to vote. And then there will be abortion because they'll vote it in. And they'll take your guns. And they'll take your rights because there'll be more of them. Before you start and continue screaming about abortion, remember, a lot of the people that are aborting their children are the same people who would vote against you and teach their children to vote against you. They're literally casting votes for you by having abortions, in a sense. They're helping you win elections and propositions into laws by having abortions. So if you ever win and end abortion, you will lose because abortion will come back and you'll lose your guns and you'll lose your rights. Keep that in mind. Kill a kid, save